Hello and welcome to Breaking Late, a motorsports podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and with me, back again, is JD. How was your break, mate?
Yeah, fantastic, mate. Got a little bit of fishing done and spent some time with my son. It was quite good.
It's good to have the racing back on the telly.
It was a pretty full-on weekend, actually. A lot of racing, especially I was really enjoying the Eastern Creek round with the Porsches and that and the 86s and that. It was quite a good round to watch. Yeah, it was quite good, especially that last race in the Porsches. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
Had the best of the Asia Carrera Cup versus the best of, the pro drivers from Asia versus Australia's pro drivers. It was pretty interesting to watch.
And which one came out on top?
Australia sort of walked away with it a little bit. There was one guy from the Pro Asia tour that did quite well, actually. It seems that he'd never driven the track before. He did pretty well.
That's pretty good.
But yeah, other than that, it was pretty entertaining. The Porsches were really good to watch, and the 86s didn't. Once again, I really enjoy watching them. It was great, and especially because they have those wild card entries, Dan Canto and that come through. It's exciting, and I don't know how they do it. They're actually racing and they're talking to them over the radio. This is the commentators.
Oh, that's
they're
hard
talking to them while they're driving.
Not all drivers can do that. I don't know if you saw the supercar media. What do they call it? Like the intro video when they do the driver that takes you around the track.
Oh yeah.
They had Michael Caruso
he didn't say much.
He didn't say much, and even commentators like, "Oh, that's Caruso. He's definitely not getting paid by the word for this one." But then you get some drivers that just chat the whole way.
Yeah, I think one of the best ones was quite an old one. They play it all the time in the intro on Fox. It's Brocky giving his description of the lap around Bathurst. It's quite good.
Yeah, we'll see if we can find it. But it was great to see the V8s back again in action.
Yeah, it was excellent to see them again. They actually was quite a good round too.
Well, we lost the round because we didn't go to KO, which was good because it gave us a bit of extra break.
Yeah, it gave a few of the teams that built complete new cars in that short 4-week break.
There was a few. 888.
Yeah,
Jamie had a new
Jamie's
car.
got a new car. I'm not sure what she's named, actually, because he always names his cars after girls. I'm not sure what this one's called. But Garth got a new car as well.
Yep.
And Lee Holdsworth.
Yeah, Carl Reinley got a new car.
Yeah, yep.
So, no, it was definitely... it was good to have that bit of a break, but all the teams up there. And then you've got Erebus that finally got a replacement for the rest of the season in Shay Davies.
Yeah, he's jumping up from development series into the main game. Shay's been around for a long time now, but he's been in and out and stuff like that. So he's quite a good driver.
He improved a lot over the weekend. Like his pace on Sunday was a lot better. He was actually fairly close. Like, he was about 2 seconds or something behind, or a second and a half at that time, with him with qualifying. And I was actually quite impressed with it. He wasn't the last.
No, absolutely. He did a pretty good job over the weekend. You got to give it to him. That I don't think the Erebus or the HRT car is the easiest car to drive out there, and he did quite a good job. He's really good.
We had Chaz Mostert was very quick this weekend.
It's something I actually wrote down in my notes. Was Chaz has his mojo back.
He does.
It is back.
Yes,
look out, Frosty. You're going to be looking silly in the qualifying states again because Chaz is just pulling out those one lap. Well, you look at that qualifying on Sunday. He managed to save 2 sets of brand new tyres over everyone.
Oh,
he just did so
talk
well.
About that. What's your opinion on it? He got out of the car really early before everyone else, and this fired up
Scafie. About
Scafie.
Yes, okay.
Scafie was not happy at that.
Look,
Do you think it was just Scafie's one of those people that's very gamesmanship like?
Yes, Scafie
he'll push you.
Yeah, exactly. Scafie
He'll sit in the car right up until the end.
Scafie would have fitted in perfectly in Formula 1.
Yeah, it's mind games.
Yep, and he's always about beating his teammate. He's always about... He had to tick all these boxes to be happy. Chaz is just happy to go out there and drive the car fast. He doesn't really give two hoots about what's mind games Scafie wants him to play. He really doesn't care. I'm sure if he even seen the footage, he would go, I'd do it again. Well,
he was quick enough. He still got pole.
Yeah, yep.
And it turns out not everyone went out anyway. Like, a lot of people did go out again
Majority
on
of
Sunday.
people went out anyway, regardless.
And didn't go, yeah.
Yeah, look, to each their own. I probably would have sat in my car for a little bit longer and maybe bolted exactly what Scaife said, bolted some tyres on it just to make it look like I was going to go out, and thought that the track was going quicker, so everyone else went out. But, you know, Chaz is Chaz. That's how he is. That's how he's always been.
Also, in that qualifying session, the HRTs at the start were very quick, to a point that I was like, wow. Like, because we haven't talked about this yet, but it's definitely going to come up a little bit later, the dumping of HRT from Walkinshaw.
Big news, yes, very big news.
But I thought, I'm really hoping that the fact that they're no longer the Holden Racing team as of 2017 is going to be a good kick in the ass.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I thought they were being kicked in the ass enough as it is. I don't know what's going to bring.
Yeah, how many firecrackers do you need to light under them before they do anything?
Honestly, they pretty much need to. I don't know. I think they've already got quite a big budget, so I don't think the budget's the problem. Maybe they need to get rid of some key staff members and
start fresh.
Poach some good ones, just like Penske is and that. And Roland Dane did the same. He stole I forgot his name, but Shane's engineer, who was Lance's engineer last year.
Phil McPherson.
From
FBR. Yep.
You know, you've got to make those cutthroat decisions, and if HRT is not going to do it, sorry, it's the world they live in. You know, the V8 Supercars is a very competitive sport. Look, I don't know what the splits are, but I think 0.2 of a second got you like 8th on the grid on Sunday. So it's super competitive. 0.2 of a second, you know, that's a couple of meters here and there braking. That's hitting the apex perfectly, and or missing it by half a foot. You know, that it's only little increments that bring 0.2 of a second.
Oh, well, yeah, it's like the whole field. Carl Reindler was an exception on Sunday because he was 3.3 seconds out. You go back to Shea Davies, he was 1.37 off pole.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's not too bad.
Yeah. And like
for his first weekend back in
Andre Heingartner's 1.07.
And Andre's in not a bad car.
Yeah. I'm actually really impressed with it. I'm a little annoyed at the livery. I loved the Hungry Jack's livery on that car.
Yeah, it is a bit of a shame to see that the backing must have disappeared and they've gone to Betty's supermarket, or not supermarket, what do you call them? Shopping mall.
Yep, I understand why she probably would have done it. It's probably easy for her if she's got control to go, all right, we're just going to do it. We're going to bite the bullet. We've just got to sponsor the car for the rest of the season. Where
and
Hungry Jacks and everyone go, oh, we can do a one-off. We're not going to commit for the rest of the season.
And also, I guess maybe they put performance things in there as well. I'm not sure how their contracts all work, but I'm sure there's some sort of, you know, if you're not finishing in top 10s, we're not going to give you as much money, these sort of things, or there's benefits for finishing higher and whatnot. And that car's probably not going to do that.
No, but either way, it was a great first meeting for Shane Davies.
The Saturday race, Michael. That ending. What an ending.
Oh, I was kind of like, I thought Whincup would get him.
I thought he would too, to be honest, yeah.
I did. Whincup looked the fastest.
Oh, he definitely come at him at a great rate of knots. And but when he got there, you got to give it to Shane. He made, one or two mistakes max on very old tyres. He went a little bit wide at turn 1 or something, or turn 2.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, and he didn't get a good run, and Jamie got up the inside, but geez, he did a good job to hang on to it.
It was good, and like the one person that I didn't notice come through the field at the end was James Courtney.
Yeah,
I was like,
how many positions did he come up?
Right at the end, I'm not 100% sure. Total 2. He qualified
well. Yeah, he did.
But
that's probably one of the best qualifying sessions he's had all year.
The HRTs this weekend were actually quite decent.
Is that to do with something with low grip circuit?
Probably.
Because you look at they're good on street tracks, which I can't imagine are the highest of grip. Maybe that's something to do with it.
Yeah.
Characteristic.
On the low grips, they can just get their cars around the tracks, but on the high grips, they probably just kill cars and got no pace.
Yeah, they're not getting the benefit of the grip.
But either way, for James Courtney to come home third, like this was his first time on the podium. Yeah,
to be honest, I'm not sure. Yeah,
I read somewhere about it. Anyway, but yeah, it was still, like, a good result after the news that, Holden Racing Team got given during the week. For them to come home, get a podium on the Saturday, was really good. Chaz Mostert dropped down 3 positions. He was the pole sitter, finished 4th. He just didn't get it off the line very well, and
No.
race went backwards from the start.
He's still having this drama of not being able to convert. Qualifying, best qualifier in the field. Yeah. But he just can't convert them into race wins. I don't know if there's a silver bullet for that, but yeah, he just can't seem to do it.
Scott McLaughlin had a pretty good showing. He didn't qualify all that well on the Saturday. I think he started about 8th, but finished up 5th, which was it's a good gain. He was up there right at the end, but I think his tyres just fell off with Lowndes as well.
Yeah, they were stuck in their own little battle at the end there. They Scotty got past him and went up the road a bit, but he just didn't have enough to get up a bit further. Same with Lowndes. They did a great job, come up a few positions, but they probably both needed to qualify better.
They both
and
qualified further down.
They probably would have been a bit more in contention.
Garth Tander got a 10th, so that's a pretty solid result. Again, like we said, the HRTs on the Saturday did quite well. Frosty, 11th. Lost 2 positions through the race. He didn't have a good weekend.
No, not at all. I was watching an interview with him after Sunday, and he's like, yeah, let's go back to Homebush. Let's get rid of this round and bring back Homebush.
Yeah.
He's like, I love coming home, but geez, this track is cursed for him. He's never really done well there.
No, and it's just, I think Tim Edwards kind of knew something like that, because I didn't see Tim Edwards in a Bottolo shirt. Like, he was wearing the Super Cheap shirt a lot this weekend.
Yeah.
He jumped ship, I think.
Yeah,
but it's something that, because of the cars not all having the same sponsors, it really does look like he has to pick, or they're not a unified team.
Yeah,
and with him chopping and changing shirts.
Is Red Bull and HRT the only team now running same livery for both cars?
Oh, Penske. Sometimes they ran 2-man cars.
Oh, yeah, you are right. They did run the same, but majority of the time they do not.
Majority of the time. What do you got? You got...
I'm pretty sure that
Kelly's
God, there's an obvious one. No, Lucas runs different ones quite often. Volvo.
Yes, Volvo.
So there's probably 3 teams that every meeting turn up with both their teammates looking the same, where every now and then some of the other teams do.
And gone are the days where everyone, every car looked the same. Well, not every car, but, the teams always were exactly the same.
The teams were cheaper back then, so they didn't need as much sponsorship. And now that it's so expensive to run a V8 supercar team, when you're looking at a big deal, it's still only enough to run one car. Anyway, that was good results there in the race.
Good results on the Saturday. On the Sunday, with the race results, Whincup picking up race win number 100.
Yeah,
good on him.
Congrats. Is I don't think it's probably a bit early to call because he's still quite young, but I don't think anyone's going to match his success rate.
It's 25% conversion rate.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. It is unbelievable.
1 in 4 races.
Yeah, he wins.
It's crazy. It really is. Gary Rogers picked him up. I think it was his first season, 2002 is a long time.
2004, I think it was.
He's been winning for 10 years or something.
Yep.
And
it's the cool thing is, like he said,
all his wins have been in Triple Eight.
Yeah, every win has been for Triple Eight. That's pretty impressive. Not many drivers out there can say all their wins have been for one team.
All 100 of them.
Yeah, and 100 of them.
Yeah, it was
unbelievable.
Good. It was good for him to get that monkey off his back, take a bit of pressure because he kept being the bridesmaid.
Yeah, and I did. His Couchy was getting angry the day before. Did you notice that in race 18? He was getting the shits basically that Shane was making Jamie try so hard to get past him, and
yeah,
this is a big event. You should just let us past.
I would have liked
Craig to win his 600th race.
Whincup to win on the Saturday and Craig to win on the Sunday.
It would have been a little poetic. It was still pretty cool that Craig got on the podium for his 600th race.
600 races later, and you're still...
He won his first ever race there too.
Yeah, I know. Craig is just a freak.
Full circle.
To be racing 600 races later and still be like fighting for the race win. And he only lost it in that pit stop.
It's actually quite interesting the whole weekend. Some of the things to take out of it, the tyres. They just were not hanging on that track, were they? It was very fast degradation.
Frosty had that big incident with his tyres, and
yeah,
then that
lost a cord on the inside
yeah,
edge.
and then trying to get into the pits, and you had David Wall, Dale Wood. Sorry, what's your take? Was he who was in the wrong there?
Well, I guess no one was really in the wrong. I think Dale Wood probably needs to calm down sometimes, and he was racing someone a little hard that was only trying to get into the pits.
He was limping. It wasn't like he was battling, but yeah, he was. I think he just was like, if I'm just going to go around around the outside because I'm on this side and the inside. And yeah, I mean, Frosty was not in a good position anyway to be left on the outside around that corner.
No, he I guess he just got freight trained and that was it. Was not much he could do about it. It's unlucky for all that were involved. Dale probably lost a position out of it as well, but it just unfortunate. The team probably should have been on the radio and said Frosty's coming in, but it's very hard to see these things and that. From Sunday, Moffat versus Van Giz, and then second question, penalty. Do you think it was
I think
justice, or do you think it was a little bit over the top?
I think it was over the top, and I'm pretty sure 85% of people on the V8 Supercar website believe that too.
That's a very certain figure.
We're just checking it now. 85%.
There you go.
I do not believe that the drive-through penalty was the correct penalty for that incident. I think that
moving forward from there, what do you think?
I think
what do you think should be done next time? Basically,
it should have just been like a 5 seconds added to his finish time. Give him a 5-second penalty.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It seemed a little bit. He readdressed straight away.
Yeah, he had the option to take off. He didn't. He let Shane go.
And if you have a look at the move closely, it doesn't look like he's just piled into the back of Shane and spun him out. He actually went for a legitimate move. Shane started shutting the door.
Yep.
He's got on the brakes harder to try and not make contact, which is then obviously inevitably he was on the edge. He's locked the rears up.
Well, Shane takes a bit of a different line through there. If you notice on the Saturday as well, Whincup didn't really want to pass there.
Yeah, and he kept opening the door. It kind of looked like Whincup might go up the inside there as well. I don't think you can really blame Shane for it, but you can't blame Shane for it at all. He's 100% innocent. Moff probably should have knew the door was going to shut, but I don't think it was due a drive-through. It was
I think
over the top.
Moff was just having a great result.
He was best result of the year. That was going to be 5th and 6th.
Fifth or fourth, I think they were at the start.
Yeah,
I think it was fourth.
possibly.
They were fighting over, but he was. I think he was just. He needs to get this calmed down if this is the reason. But I think he's just He was getting a good result. He saw the door. He went for it. Got a little excited. Shane went to close it. Bit hard on the brakes. Locked him. Jeez. It's a slight tap. It's like no bodywork damage at all on those cars.
Geez, there'd be some races where they wouldn't even penalise it at all.
I was
because he redressed.
If he took off, I understand penalising him.
A car did get past Shane, which is unfortunate, and it's probably what pushed them to give him a penalty. But I don't think the crime fit the time.
No, I think that was too harsh, and it should have just been a 5-second penalty. That's what I believe. Yeah,
it was a real shame to see Moffat's great. I think he come home 18th or something like that in the end, which is a real shame.
Let's do something we haven't done in a while. Let's do the leaderboard.
Championship points.
We haven't done this for a while. So let's see how the championship standing is now. We're only a few. Well, we were a few. We still got a lot of weeks, but we're halfway through the season now.
We're up to the big points rounds too. We're into Enduro Cup season now, which I honestly can't wait for. I love this time of year. It's my favourite time of V8 supercars. I really get into this time of year.
I love it, especially when you got Bathurst Day coming up.
Yep.
It's going to be fantastic.
Can't wait for the pie.
Yeah. You look at the top 5. Jamie Whincup, Shane Van Gisbergen, Craig Lowndes, Mark Winterbottom. I was about to say Mark Webber.
Well, if he wants to dip his toes in, why not? Come along.
We'll get you a car. Somehow we'll organise you a car. I'm pretty sure we just call a team. Like, I got Mark Webber on the line. He wants to race. Sorry, Scotty McLaughlin, you got to move out of the car. Making way for Webber. No. So you look at the top 5. Scott McLaughlin starting from 5th. Scott McLaughlin, Mark Winterbottom, Craig Lowndes, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Jamie Whincup. They're the same top 5 from basically when we first did our episode.
Yeah, and it has started blowing out a little bit.
The order's changing a bit, but I do have a feeling that Frosty's dropping off.
It does look very ominous for the rest of the field.
At the start of the race,
if you have a look, it's 888.
Yeah, and they're
starting to pull away.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a couple of points anymore. It's a couple of round wins versus DNFs.
Craig Lowndes is 3rd and is 198 points off 1st.
Yeah, even Craig's starting to get out of touch.
And he's had a few race wins, but it's just Jamie's been having these great Saturdays. He's not getting the race wins, but he's getting a lot of trophies.
Jamie's getting podiums.
A lot of second place trophies he's getting.
Yep. Well, now maybe he's got the 100. Maybe he can put some more first place ones back up there. Shane's doing a great job. I think he'll be very happy with how the start of his season's gone, and he's really starting to pile on the points now.
Shane's starting to mature a lot, and he's driving that AAA car really well.
Yeah, it seems like they've started to find how to engineer that car for him, and he's found how to drive it, and everyone's meshing properly because he's just started in the last few rounds. He's starting to get more and more race wins. So if I was Jamie, to be honest, Shane would be the one I'd be worried about.
If Shane didn't have the incident in Tasmania and then the error that he did in Darwin, he'd be leading the championship by a good couple of 100 points.
Yeah.
Jamie really needs to watch out because I think Shane can mature a lot at 888, and they will help him cut down on these little mistakes. 888, one of those teams that makes the drivers stop doing these small things, or they take on drivers that they know that they can.
Yeah, well, I think they they covered their bases now with their drivers. You got Captain Consistent in Jamie. You got Craig Lowndes, which is the crowd pleaser, and also he has really good days, and then he has other days where he's not doing so well, but still manages to pull out, 5ths and 6ths and stuff like that, and still bring home a good bag of points. And then you've got Shane.
Shane's the exciting one.
Shane could be 15th one day, not very much anymore actually, but he could be 15th one day, and then next day he could be pole.
Yeah, he's one of those drivers you're not 100% sure how he's going to go.
Yeah, and he's just getting more and more consistent of definitely not the 15th. He's getting the poles and winning races. So
he's very popular too. Like, lots of people love him.
Yeah, well, he's a very likable guy. He's a very flamboyant driving style. He likes to hang it out there, and he's not scared to
drift it.
Yeah. Well, he's not scared to give it a bit of wheel spin and stuff like that.
Let's talk about it. Last week, the bombshell dropped.
Yeah, they must be pretty disappointed.
That 888 will be becoming, as of 2017, the Red Bull Holden Racing Team.
How do you feel about this, Michael?
I have no issue with 888 becoming the Holden factory team. My issue is with the name. No,
What is your issue, Michael?
Maybe just retire the HRT name. And also I do have a small issue with, I have the issue with the 888 becoming the Holden Racing Team because 888 has always raced against HRT. And HRT's was their main rival at the start.
Yep.
And now the rival is HRT. Oh, HRT is now
them.
Yeah, they've gone full circle. They used to hate them, and now they are them. It's
they hate us because they ain't us.
Yeah, that's my issue.
I see your point. I worry a little bit about it's gonna. I'm not a big HRT fan myself, anyway. So, I worry that it's gonna confuddle the fans. It might turn some fans away from the sport, which is not what we want for the sport right now.
Not what we need.
Yeah, so that is a little bit worrying. I think Wilkinshaw will keep a lot of their fans. I hope they keep the same colour schemes and stuff like that. I know that they might go back to their orange and black HSV colours. Yeah, the dealer team, because that's the obvious path for them. Obviously, they've got to go that way, at least for next year. If the year after there's talk of other manufacturers maybe approaching them to build a car, but I think next year they've just got to prove that they can build a competitive car, because at the moment they're the ugly duckling for the big teams that are spending
And
lots
I
of
can
money.
understand why Holden were going, no, well, why are we sponsoring the slow Holden? Because it's not like Holdens are slow in the sport. Like, the car to beat at the moment is a Holden.
Yeah, well, 75% of the field are Holden.
Yeah, I know. But they are the car to beat. They are like the fastest cars at the moment.
They are, because Triple Eight.
Yeah. So I can
It's all
understand like
888.
rewarding them for it, but I don't know. I don't like the Holden Racing Team name moving across.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting time seeing how it goes over with the fans. I think maybe it'll grow on us and we won't notice it, because, when they were better electrical, Triple Eight and stuff like that, it was hard when they went to Vodafone, and then they were Vodafone, and then they went to Red Bull. It always felt weird to begin with. Now,
I know that.
Now
And
it's
I can
normal.
guarantee, like, September next year, I'll be like, wouldn't think of calling, like, they're just going to be HRT. That's just what's going to happen.
yeah, I don't know. I reckon they'll still be Red Bull.
Yeah,
Almost think
Triple Eight.
they'll-
I still
they'll be
keep calling them
888.
Triple Eight.
Everyone does, because that's what they are. It's like a lot of people call HRT Wilkinshaw,
Yeah,
because they are. That's what they are. Ryan Wilkinshaw owns them.
yeah, he does.
So good luck to them. They need it because they've been struggling.
Well, if this does, like we said, if this doesn't light a rocket under their ass, I don't know what's going to. Back to the Triple Eight thing. What's your opinion on the fact that Triple Eight will be the sole builder of the Holden car from 2018?
Well, it's interesting. I want to see how that works, but I honestly don't know how the new series of V8 supercars, supercars, Virgin Australia supercars, will work from 2018, because there's so many variables that are still up in the air. We're going to wait for all that stuff to come back down and really give us an honest opinion, sort of where they're heading with this thing, because at the moment it's still very questionable.
Well, like, I want to know what's going to happen to likes of BJR, or do you think, here you go, think BJR could leave Holden.
I do think could be a few teams.
I think BJR will be one of the first.
BJR, people like Lucas Dumbrell probably will stay.
Yep.
They're
customer cars. I'm talking about, like, if BJR can't build their own Commodore because Triple Eight got the contract to build the one and only Holden chassis for this model, this would be a V6 turbo.
Look, I hope some of the teams do. At the moment, other than Ford and Volvo and Nissan have come up, but let's get some more manufacturers in there. The cars are going to be very similar anyway. Let's get some more manufacturers in there, get some more fan involvement, and move forward, because really what they're going to is, it's not going to be traditional V8 supercars anyway.
No.
So they're going to lose some fans anyway. Yeah, let's get in there and let's get it going.
I'm actually really impressed. Like, now you think about, like, Volvo's had their commitment where they've run their pace, they've done their couple of years, and they're going to be out. I think it's good to see that, Nissan, their commitment at the start, I think I underestimated the original commitment that they put in. They've done four cars since the beginning, and they're still backing. Like, when they've lost sponsors, Nissan has helped pick up the slack.
Yeah, they brought in Nismo and stuff. No, it's
That's
been
a
great.
good thing
I
for
think
Nissan.
Nissan
I
has been
really appreciate
perfect.
what Nissan have done to this sport.
Yep. I think there's some other Japanese manufacturers that probably should take a look at what Nissan's done, because it's been great. It's been great for the sport. I think a lot of Australians appreciate it too.
Well, the next round for V8s is the Sandown 500. The retro livery round.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see what comes out.
I don't mind the fact that they do a whole round. Like, you know how, like, Bathurst and stuff the last few years, you're going, we're going to the retro thing, and some of the cars did it and some of the cars didn't do it, and then when you see all the cars that did it were racing together, it looked really good, but then when they weren't, they're racing with the other cars, it looked odd. I think it's good that they've now, like, everyone, is everyone doing it? I think.
Well, I honestly don't know. They've called it the retro round. I assume they'll be pushing for most cars to do it.
I think it will look good if all of them do it.
Yeah, I don't know if all of them will do
How
it.
retro could you get Red Bull? Like from like the early 80s or 87 or something when it first.
Well, that's what I wonder. Do HRT or Red Bull go like the Marlboro?
Oh, whoa. We're not allowed to actually say that. All right. Channel 7 would blur that out. We don't know what smokes are, man.
Yeah, of course. But would they, the red and white, go back to those good old days of Peter Brock and that?
I don't think Red Bull could. Triple Eight, Lounsey got away with it.
Yeah, well, maybe they could do it for Lowndes' car.
Yeah, but
You still put Caltex branding on it.
yeah, but Caltex logo is a big circle.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. I have
We're
no
not
answers for
designers.
you.
Well, you were no help. Who's your hot tip then?
Hot tip. We're going enduro season.
Going endurance is going to Sandown.
Who do you think I'm going to choose every time?
You're going to choose Lowndes.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but I'm not going to choose Lowndes for Sandown. I'm going to choose Wingcop. Actually, like, should we not do this race? Let's do, who do you think's going to win the Pertec Endurance Cup? So let's not talk rounds. Because this is like second and third. You think like Tander won it last year with Luff.
Craig Lowndes.
Well, he won it the first year. Well, this weekend had one of my favorite race meetings.
Spa.
I love Spa. It's a
It
nice,
is.
fun track.
It is an amazing track.
It's good.
That-
And yes,
that El Rouge.
yeah, it's
Wow.
fucking crazy. You need
Uh,
some big kahunas to drive that.
Yeah, well, what they reckon in an F1 car, when you look up, when you're going up El Rouge, all you can see is the sky. You can't see the road.
Yeah, I'd probably believe that.
I seen
It's-
footage. They were doing interviews standing on the corner, and you couldn't see the corner. Like you couldn't over the crest. You couldn't see the road. You can only see the straight that goes down to La Source. You can't see the actual road that comes up. That's how steep it is.
There's a video, and I'm pretty sure I'll find it. I'll try and remember. It shows you the comparison up El Rouge of all the different categories racing. Like, so you got GP2.
Oh yeah, I've
F1.
seen that. Yeah, comparing them.
Yeah, and it shows you how quick the
GT3.
F1 yeah,
Yeah, I've seen that.
that's bloody mind blowing. How quick the F1s go through there compared to everyone else.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's flat out. Don't lift. I don't know about
Well,
you.
I don't think these days they are 100% flat out now. With the torque and stuff. The Mercedes and the Red Bulls and your Ferrari probably are. And Force India maybe even, and Williams, but you got your Manners and stuff like that. Definitely wouldn't be flat, I don't reckon. What about a Renault? Do you reckon they're flat? They don't look very stable through there.
I saw Magnussen get flat on the throttle.
Yeah, I agree.
And then he went into a wall.
That's probably jumping a bit ahead.
Yeah, just a little bit.
W-
What would you like to take away from qualifying or practice? Or what would you like to talk about?
sorry, jumping back to V8. Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
The start from Lowndes, we didn't even talk
Oh,
about it.
shit, yeah.
He went from like 4th to 1st in the first corner.
That was...
I thought he was going to
And-
win the race.
I did too. I was like, I can't believe we didn't even think of this. Yeah, it was a fantastic...
That's-
It rocketed off the line.
That's why I just had that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see me have
Yeah,
that
yeah,
moment.
you were like waving your hands there. I was about like, all right, let's talk about qualifying. You're like, "Wah!" No, that was a fantastic start. And like, I didn't think he was going to get Mostert.
No,
Not around
me
the
neither.
outside.
And he just had enough that when he squeezed Mostert lifted out of the throttle
That was a
because
smart
it was
move by Mostert.
it was more mature. I don't think Mostert's that immature actually. Of
No,
a
he
driver.
makes pretty smart moves.
Yeah. So yeah, he did quite a mature move there and went, well, this is going to end in one or two ways. Everyone's going to hate me and I'll still retain the lead and get a drive through, or I can let
the
the
people's
crowd
champion go
Yeah.
through. Let the crowd goes crazy, because I don't want to make him lose his 600th race.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
see that this like Mostert had a bad start on Saturday, and Giz had a really good start. Mostert had a good start, and he still couldn't convert the win. Mostert had a good start on Sunday. It's just, unfortunately, Lowndes pulled like the best start.
Yeah, that's like a low 10-second quarter.
Yeah,
mile.
like he was. He needs to go
was
down
off.
like beat the heat.
Yeah, he was off. Anyway.
All right. So we've covered that Lowndes had a rocketing start.
Yeah. Yep. We can go back to F1.
It was
now.
good. All right. Back to F1.
Yes. Qualifying. Wow. Well, actually, sorry. We should probably start with practice.
All right. Tell me about practice.
Mercedes didn't seem to be all there in practice.
Maybe because I'm too busy changing Hamilton's engines.
Possibly.
I am not happy. I'm not happy. You should not be able to do that. Hamilton should be still taking fucking penalties next race meet and the run after that.
I do think, yes, they found... Yeah, who did that?
I didn't turn my phone on silent. I'll turn it off.
I agree with you. I think the fact that he now
Proof that they
has...
need to be taken out.
Yeah, the fact that he has now more brand new motors than anyone else in the field
He's got 3.
is ridiculous. I think if you're pulling a new motor out that has no... I think it should be like gearboxes pretty much.
Show that they're broken.
Yep. You have to prove that somewhere on data that there was a mechanical problem to pull the engine out. Because this is just so much not in the... Like, I understand
just not
it's within...
cricket. It's not in the spirit of the game.
I understand it's within the rules. But, come on now. Like, the rules are set there to stop teams, big teams like Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, going out and doing this exact thing.
I love your argument is, come on, meow.
Yeah, come on now.
Come on, meow. That's just not cricket. No, and I do agree. I think it's stupid. I'm still worked up about it, but bloody hell, he drove a good race, though.
He did. He stayed out of trouble. I don't think he did anything spectacular, but I think he stayed out of trouble and did a great race and just passed cars nice and steadily and just chipped away, and he got his way up there, and he did a really good effort.
I just wish he was taking the rest of the 30 penalties to next week.
I'm sure Rosberg does as well.
He can take 20 next week, and then he can only take 10 the week after that.
Yeah.
And then he's good. And McLaren can try and get their backlog of their 107.
Okay, I want to see how fast... Scroll down. Enhance. Pascal, look at it. Furlong. That was quick. That's Carlos Sainz and above him, and he's like 0.3 faster than him.
Okay, what was...
He's faster than Gutierrez. He's faster than like...
He was
half
faster
the
than
field.
Bottas.
Yeah.
He was 1/10 slower than Ricciardo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
1/10 slower than Verstappen and 5/10 slower than Rosberg. Far out.
Yeah. He blew the doors off it. He absolutely went out there. I do not know where he got the pace from, but
Why didn't he?
He went no faster the next time.
Yeah, I know that. He went slower, but he still would have been in the drop zone.
Yeah.
But still, he would have qualified 14th with that speed.
Yeah, if he could replicate what he'd done the previous time.
Ocon, he was very good.
Solid weekend from Ocon. I think he did better than expected. He does talk a lot of talk, but
I don't care if he drives well.
Well, he was talking about finishing top 10 and qualifying in Q3.
No.
Yeah,
He's in the manner, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what he said.
No, mate. You got to be at least in a Toro Rosso.
You've got to become sort of realistic here and not 100% bullshit.
I mean, I know you got to have a bit of confidence, but
That was what he said. Wayland was under pressure versus Ocon in practice and stuff like that.
mm-hmm.
Ocon was doing a better job. He just was. He was faster. And then somehow Pascal just drove
Turned it on in Q1.
Q1. He was unbelievable.
He might have topped the timesheets at the start with a lap like that.
He was, what did we look at before? He was 1/10 off Ricardo and Verstappen.
Yeah.
He's in a manor. Somebody tell the man he's in a manor. Did he cut the track somewhere or what?
So what happened with Hamilton? Did he just go out and just like, I'm potting
He
around?
just set a time that was within the 107% rule.
I was wondering what happened with that.
Just so he didn't have to go to the stewards to explain that he is fast enough.
That they're cheating with the rules and just getting too many engines put in. And
So
lies and slander. I'm surprised they even did a run.
Yeah, they just didn't want to have to go through the rigmarole of saying we are fast enough.
Out in Q2, Saints, bad weekend.
Yeah, and I questioned what he was doing in the race there as well when he had the tyre blowout. That's not his own fault, obviously, but
The way he drove after it was
Yeah.
very childish, like very amateur.
it was very dangerous. He went into that corner. I'm not sure if he thought he was going to be able to turn or whatnot, but with cars coming on the outside, he drove straight across the racing line and then went across the little islands and then span out back out onto the track. It was just not what I'm used to seeing from him.
Yeah, it was very odd and just
Very
Like,
disappointing.
very
'Cause he's one
rookie.
of my favourite drivers out there, and I was very disappointed in what I was seeing.
Q3.
Rosberg did a great job with a 146.744.
Verstappen was quick.
He was quick. He
just-
was very, very
I
quick.
thought he could get him. Watching that, I thought Verstappen could get this.
When he went out and did that first lap and he was that close to Rosberg, I went, ooh, we're on for a race here. It was unbelievable. So he obviously managed to get the tyres in the window really well. I think that was the big problem everyone was having.
Mm-hmm.
Raikkonen did a great job as well, actually. You can't take him away from it either. He was not far off. Ricciardo was a little bit disappointing, to be honest.
Ricciardo didn't have the pace this weekend. He always seems slightly off.
Yeah, I don't know if they went for a better race car than they did a qualifying car. I'm not sure what the go was there, but
It turned out to be a pretty good race car.
yeah, he got a little lucky as well, but
Mm.
I think he still would have come out somewhere up the top there anyway. It just it helped him a lot when his three main rivals that were going to be his competitive rivals
Yeah, all crashed out.
all
Well, not
tapped
crashed
into
out.
each
They
other.
had that run in.
So, Michael, onto the race.
Yes.
The start. What do you think of the incident in turn one?
I've rewatched this afternoon.
Well, let's start with, do you think there's someone to blame and who is it?
A little bit, Max. But there was room.
And secondly,
Mhm.
second question for you. Do you think if all three drivers had the same chance, would they do it again?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, they were. They're all fighting to like go second into the corner. Kimi, I think, was unfortunate. He sort of got squeezed in the middle.
Yeah, look, my view on the whole thing was basically Max went into a closing gap. You can actually see he ended up two wheels over the curb sort of thing, trying to get down the inside. And that's nothing against him. He's always going to do that. But for him to complain about getting squished, he was driving into a space that was going to close.
It's a space that you always know you get squished there. You never go on the inside of that corner going, I'm not going to get squished.
Everyone in this one, I think, is guilty. I think Raikkonen probably should have been better at shutting the door on Max earlier.
Yeah, if he closed that
He was
door,
too
he wouldn't
lazy.
have had the issue.
Yeah, he was too slow to do it.
Vettel
And
actually took
Vettel
it
on
quite well.
Well, Vettel on the other end probably should have given more room. If you look at where he was going, he was closing that door down to make Raikkonen basically have to straddle. Like how aggressively he turned in,
Mm.
it was going to make it as if Raikkonen had to be right on the apex when there was already someone at the inside. Vettel obviously can't see that, but knows it's probably going to be
Gonna
happening.
happen. The door was open.
So I think everyone in it's to blame.
Yeah.
No clear person. And for Max to come out and blame everyone else other than himself
I
was
think
a
Max
little bit
just
childish.
needs to not jump the gun a little bit on blaming things.
Secondly, Magnussen's crash.
Yeah.
Do you think they should red flag that earlier?
I do. We
Because-
drove around behind safety car long enough for the fact that
We chewed up, I think, 4 or 5 laps.
it
On
was
quite a
good
long
that they did
circuit.
red flag it because it took a little longer to fix it, and we could have lost. Like we would have lost
Possibly.
more laps.
Yeah.
But what's the point of we trundled around the safety car for 4 laps only for them to let Raikkonen get unlapped and then call it? I think Raikkonen got let go, and as soon as that, then they red flagged the race.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there was definitely something going on there with they probably just didn't realise how long it was going to take to fix.
It was
I
a
don't think
big.
it was
It would have
deliberate.
been a big fix, and you could. It's not saying you could just like, we'll just do enough, and we'll get it rest done, tomorrow.
Yeah,
It's if a car's going to go in there, it's going to go in there quick.
yeah, if there's no tyres there, someone's going to die. Another controversial one for you.
Hit me.
Your view, we already talked about 2 of these drivers. on the Verstappen defensive driving with Raikkonen coming up so fast behind him. What do you reckon, mate?
There's things you can and can't do, and he's starting to do the things you can't do, even though technically they're within the rules.
He's
starting to move very late, and it's getting very late.
He's very Schumacher.
Brundle was saying that during the race.
He will make... Senna was the same as well. He'll make you make the decision. You can try and pass me, and we can crash.
I don't think... I know he's got to, put his foot here, and he's got to assert himself. He's like, I'm here now. You know, you're going to know about me. I don't think he needs to be this aggressive this quick.
Honestly, he's not. It's not like that race was for a world championship.
If he's racing for a world championship and he's goes on to win it, then I think those things there won't be so frowned upon looking back.
I think at the moment, my personal view is, could be wrong, could be right. Everyone's entitled to one. They're like ourselves. We all have one.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's moving too late. I don't think you should be allowed to defend after, especially on a straight like that where you're going so fast, to move after the other driver's already made their move. I think you should have to assert yourself and take the inside line, the outside line, straddle it in the middle and make it difficult. But you shouldn't be going down the center. As soon as someone goes to go to the inside line, you swerve across in front of them and they have to hit the brakes halfway along a straight. I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, there was some driving going on this weekend that was very bad. There was some of it that wasn't as bad as others, but then there was some that was pretty bad.
Yeah, that was just something. It did get on my nerves a little bit because I honestly think there's going to be a big crash. If we go to Monza and he continues driving like this, it's possible. There could be a big crash.
So what else did you take away from the race?
Hulk.
Good race.
Solid
Good race. Best
Solid
performance.
race.
Best finish, I think, in Formula 1.
It's his equal best. He's finished fourth for four.
But there was still
I was spewing. I was hoping he could stay ahead of Hamilton to
I would have
finally
liked for him
get
to
that
get on the podium.
He's
won a lot of other races outside of Formula 1 and
he won Le
Le
Mans.
Yeah. The other year, I'm like, come on, he's a driver that you can't hate him.
No, I actually quite like him. He's one of my favourite drivers. I quite like Hulk. I thought Rosberg did quite a good job. He was sort of the class of the field, if you could say that much. He just went out the front and just did exactly what he needed to do.
Yeah, he couldn't have done anything more for that race. And he was obviously a little bit frustrated that Hamilton managed to climb the whole way back to third.
Yeah, you can't take anything away from Hamilton. What a job he got.
But you must
get back to third.
You could see
he got lucky a little bit with some of the incidents. But yeah, he did a great job. Poor Button.
Yeah.
It just keeps on happening. Red Bull.
Yeah, mate. What about them?
I thought they were going to be stronger on their tyres than they were. If you notice that they were just as weak as everyone else, if not weaker. And yeah, I honestly thought they'd be better on them. Daniel looked like he was sort of coasting nearly the whole race.
14 seconds behind. Daniel was never pushing for the win.
I think he did at the start.
At the start, yeah, but definitely after the first pit stop, I think they worked out that they were
just going for the race.
We'll hold this position. They end up fighting Hulkenberg. He had a good little fight with Hulkenberg for a bit. Hulkenberg unfortunately lost out due to the red flag because he just pitted.
Yeah. Yep.
And it sort of gave Hamilton and Hamilton too, but Rosberg and Raikkonen a free kick in the such as they didn't have to, they weren't going to lose track position by getting those new tyres on.
Yep.
And actually, something that I messaged you throughout the race was, what's your thoughts on Hulkenberg during the red flag going, can we unload some fuel or, is there anything that we can do to run up at optimal?
Well, exactly. They did go out there and have how many laps? It was like 4 laps or something under virtual safety car where they would have been burning bugger off fuel compared to normal. So they would have all been overfueled. So they probably would have all run rich to the end.
Yeah. They said they couldn't empty any fuel, but they could do some additional start procedures to try and burn more fuel, which I thought was a smart idea for the driver, sitting there and be like, hey guys, drain my tank. Like, you know, it's
It was a good idea. It's a shame that they couldn't do anything in pit lane.
just sit there, just like. Well,
Well, they did say they were going to start it and run it through some processes to burn some fuel off.
Yeah, just sit there like, why is he revving it? Like, oh, he's got like 4 kilos more than he needs.
Force India, I think they did one of the best jobs they've done all year. Their pace was that good. I thought they could actually
took Williams in the constructors.
Yeah. Well, they
now
finished
fourth.
5th and 6th last night. They did a great job themselves, and I honestly thought a part of that race that they were going to threaten Daniel for second.
I thought that. I thought there was every possibility that, you know, Hulkenberg could be really fighting throughout the whole race.
Yeah, he was very strong, especially before the red flag.
Because I think after that they put him on a set of used softs again, or they kept him on the same old tyres. Everyone went on to new tyres.
Yeah, possibly, yes.
And he stayed on the same ones that he already had. So then he was on the back foot from there.
Yep. Didn't work
I
out
guess
so
they just
well.
didn't have any new tyres to keep
They
him.
didn't have enough sets, obviously. Yeah, I agree. Alonso, another great drive. Wow, coming from the back of the grid.
In 7th.
That is an awesome effort. And other than that, for my notes, shoeies.
Shoeies, mate. Shoeies.
Yeah. Well,
Who's going? I did not expect that. Not
honestly, I don't think Webber expected it either.
All I got out of that video though was far out. It doesn't take much to get Webber to do something.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm not drinking out of that. 2 seconds later,
come on, Aussie
Shoey!
pride.
He was like, and Ricardo was just like, his smile couldn't get any bigger.
Yeah, he was pretty happy about
He
it.
was really happy. He's like, mate, you're a legend.
He made all of Australia proud, and great effort by both of them.
It was good, and I like shoeies. I mean, I'm not doing a shoey.
I contemplated after our win in the grand final and our indoor cricket game on Friday, but my shoes have been worn for far too many games.
Yeah, and we had a big cup to drink out of. Like, do it out of the trophy. Like, why aren't you pouring the champagne into your trophy and drinking out of that?
Yeah, this is true.
I mean, I know this one here had it was a cup-like, but it did have a big split down the middle of it. Like, I just want, the German one should just be like a big stein. That's
big
what
gold stein.
A big gold stein
with a stem and mounted on a wooden plug.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us on our first episode back.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
It is. It's been a while.
Remember to hit us up at Facebook at Breaking Late.
Next week we will be drawing the T-shirt. It's been a while, but we'll announce the winner on the show next week.
Yes.
So listen to the show if you want to know who won the T-shirt.
What were the terms on that one again, Michael?
You got to like, subscribe, and tag a mate in a post. And it can't be that much. There's not much posted on our page.
Yep. Okay.
It's been so long. It really has. I know we're going, but I just want to chat. My friends out on the internet land.
Yes.
We very much appreciate all of yous.
Yes, all of you out there, whoever's listening.
So don't forget to hit us up on facebook.com/breakinglate. If you got anything you want to send us, it's breakinglate@gmail.com.au. Twitter's breakinglate_FM. You know, it's the @breakinglate. It's the same thing. You know how Twitter works. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, looking forward to Monza.
All right.
Catch you later, guys.
Bye.